Hey guys, this is Eli from MACkite.
And this is Kevin with Waydoo USA.
And today we're going to go over the most basic question that we ever get, which is, can I actually do this? So, it being the most basic question, there is a basic answer. Yes. I have customers that are 85 years old a lot of the times saying, can I do this? And I'm like, yeah, if you want to commit yourself to it, and you can learn in 3 sessions if you really try. 1, if you're really taking yourself into the sport. Like I said, I have an 85-year-old customer who picked up a max with a 27-inch, and he was up and riding in our session.
Absolutely. I always ask people, can you get up unassisted? Can you get off of the ground without someone helping you out? And can you swim? If the answer to both of those questions is yes, you can get it done. Yeah, you can figure it out. Like you're saying, some people may take a few days, some people may get it the first day, but it's definitely an attainable thing. It's by far the easiest way to get up on foil.
Definitely.
And then, once you feel that floating sensation, and even if it takes you a few sessions, it is worth it.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it literally feels like you're flying.
Yeah.
I think that was my first reaction to getting up on foil. I was like, oh my gosh, and then I was hooked.
Yeah. We have a customer that essentially just sits down on the foil all the time. And he's like, he calls it the magic carpet. He's riding around, cruising around and having a good time. And he can stand up and ride it if he wants, but it's like just again getting that sensation and realizing how easy and attainable it is.
Yeah.
One of the cool things that we were talking about as well is like the different size wings and the different size masts. We have the 1500 glide wing, which is the largest wing in the session, and people are afraid of 2 things. Can I get up? Can I even do it? And then, okay, maybe I can do it, but man, if I take a fall, if I take a spill, like how hard is it going to be? Is it going to be really, really terrible? And again, the answer is no. You can really change the speeds. You have 24 speeds, so it's really, really incremental.
Yeah.
You don't have to be doing 20, 25 miles an hour out there. With the 1500 glide wing, you can foil it, 6, 7, 8 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And again, pairing that with that short mast, you don't have far to fall, and you're not falling very fast. So.
Yeah. And the water stays soft at about 8 miles an hour.
Exactly. 8 and 18, the water feels a lot different. But exactly. If you're cruising at under 10 miles an hour, it's really it's really not a big deal to fall. Obviously we talk about things like impact vests, helmets, safety equipment to make sure that you just are absolutely safe out there. But just in terms of again, can you get up off the ground? Can you swim? And when's the last time you jumped in a pool? And most of these people that are out there, again, are water sports enthusiasts. We have I've talked to some people the other day. Same thing. They go out in the lake and they're like, oh, we've seen it. We see people doing it, but again, like, oh, we'll never be able to do that.
Yeah.
Well, do you get out of your boat and swim? Can you climb back on that ladder and get back in your boat?
Yeah.
You can eFoil. You can absolutely do it.
Yeah. It's just not worth it not to try it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I never thought that I would be into anything like this. I got out on a lesson, and my first experience was miserable. One of the guys from the shop brought me out in February in Michigan. I was in a full suit, hood, mittens, boots, and I got up and flying, and I was like, I can't not do it now. I have to.
Well, full disclosure, I cannot do it in February in Michigan. So, I mean, there are limits to people, So it's like, I may be able to ride a small board and fasten the wing, but it starts getting below maybe 50-degree water temperature, and I can't eFoil. So don't feel bad if you can't do it under those conditions. But man, I mean, it's awesome. You do get hooked, and you get the sensation, that gratification, relatively early on.
Yeah.
Because even if you can't, get up and foil and cruise around right away, you get it relatively quickly. Even when you're on your knees and you're not foiling, people are just having fun cruising around. Yeah. And as soon as you get that bug, as soon as you get hooked, you'll want to move forward. So even in that, like I said, that first lesson, you can get lessons. It's going to cost you maybe a couple $100, few $100 to have that sensation. But again, almost anything that you do on vacation or out there is going to take that amount of time. And within 30 minutes, you will at least have the idea or understand what it's going to feel like.
Yeah.
And from there, you're hooked. You're going to be an eFoiler.
Yeah. 100%. And you mentioned even if you're just on your knees, even if you're just on your belly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're just playing and you get up on foil for a second, you're like, oh my gosh, this is what it feels like.
Yeah, same thing. My daughter, that's what she did for quite some time. She didn't really think about standing too much, but she was just on her belly, just kind of boogie board style, going around and controlling it, and she was having a blast just doing that. Yeah. I kept being like, oh, you can stand up, and she's like, I'm fine here. I don't necessarily want to. Now, obviously, she's ripping around and standing, but even just doing that was just really, really fun.
Yeah. So the answer is yes.
Absolutely, you can certainly do it. And like I said, we'll continue to get people as the sport continues to evolve. It's still relatively new. There's still people every day, coming up to us and seeing it. Again, KOGL, there was people that just, walked by and like, oh, what is this? What are you guys doing here? So it's really cool to keep introducing people into a sport, and and it's one of the easier ones to do. Like I said, there are a lot of people that they look at us kiteboard, they look at all this other stuff, which again, those things are attainable, but they're going to take more time, more dedication, maybe a different level of fitness. But like I said, if you can get up off the ground, if you can swim, and you have a desire to know what it feels like to be out there, in the swell, in the waves, or just out there on flat water having fun, eFoiling can make it happen for you.
One thing that I forgot to mention, attachments make it even more accessible.
Sure.
Flyer pods, so the 90-liter flyer pod and the 130-liter flyer pod. If you feel like you need it, they're there. I got on the 130-liter flyer pod, I put it on the max board, and I was just standing out in the middle of the lake. I wasn't uneven. I felt like I was standing on ground. I was just like, oh, this is almost more stable than a SUP. I'm just chilling here. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, like, we're bigger guys, right? So it's just like, even for us, it's like, obviously you put the kids on and they can have a dance party on that thing. But it's like, even if you're a bigger guy or a bigger person, you can certainly still use those attachments to help. Another thing that we don't talk about a whole lot, I don't even know if I've even done a video about it, is the fuselage extender. So with every propulsion unit, there's a piece that you can attach onto the rear of the fuselage. So what that does is it gives you a bit more stability with the pitch, so that the up and down. When people first start eFoiling, they kind of do the dolphin thing where they're going up and down and trying to find that stabilization. We also have the flight assist, which helps with that as well. But having that extra length on the fuselage gives you that added stability. So between that, we now have a shorter mast, right? You have a sub 20-inch mast now. So that 30-liter board, flyer pod, all of these things that are really designed to make eFoiling accessible. And I think that's one of the things that Waydoo does really, really well. They came at it from an angle of, obviously performance is great. We have some other eFoil brands that are really more performance focused. And Waydoo does have that if that's what you want. But really the goal was to make this really accessible for the masses. And they've done a really good job at that. So obviously another thing, as you get into it, again, price, we talk about it. Waydoo is very value driven as well. The price point is relatively attainable and accessible. So again, if you want to get into it, you kind of progress. They've, I think, given you most of the tools that anyone can ask for to be able to, successfully become an eFoiler. Yeah,
around here we say it's by far the most bang for your buck. And they've done nothing to not show that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah. Exactly. If you're out there and you're thinking about it, can I get it? You've seen somebody do it, one of your friends is doing it, whatever. Give it a try and trust us. You can definitely become an eFoiler, and once you start, there's no going back.
If you guys have any questions, you can always reach out at efoils@mackite.com. It's going to be the fastest and easiest way to reach me.
Yeah, and one of the really great things, obviously, we have a great well of retailers, a really great network. These guys, I cannot say enough about them. Obviously, you guys that know MACkite and that are watching this channel know that they're known for their customer service. You call, you're going to get Eli or someone else that is participating in eFoiling actively, is stoked on the sport, is going to be able to give you that first-person perspective of what it's like to be a new eFoiler, what it's like to learn, and be able to kind of walk you through that journey. So, like I said, definitely hit him up, eFoils@MACkiteboarding.com, and yeah, absolutely, we'll be able to help you out and get you on the water.